Welcome to the workshop on connecting efforts to support minorities in engineering education. My name is John Anderson, and I'm the president of the National Academy of Engineering. The NAE is pleased to host this workshop with support from the Alfred P. Sloan Foundation. I welcome the attendees and am confident that we will not only learn something over the next few days, but also act on what we have learned. One mission of the National Academy of Engineering is to promote the engineering profession. Recruiting more talent into engineering is a key element of this mission. When representation of engineers among certain groups falls below their population representation, these groups are underrepresented, meaning we are leaving talent on the table, as noted by NAE member John Slaughter. The NAE is dedicated to equity, which is more than just opportunity. Let me reflect on a personal story about opportunity, equity, and luck. My parents were in a low-income situation, less than a high school education. When I was 5 years old, they moved to a rental apartment that was 1/2 mile within the border of the best public school system in the state of Delaware. The bordering school system was poorer and not nearly as strong. Yes, I worked hard, and yes, I was motivated, but I was also lucky. I am convinced that I would not be where I am today had I lived in the neighboring school district. And I think about that every day. Equity is a function of personal history, encouragement, opportunity, and yes, sometimes discrimination even today. Equity requires leveling the playing field with mentoring, addressing gaps in education, and allowing for socioeconomic situations that limit a young person's choices after graduating from high school. How can the NAE help the goal of a diversifying engineering education? In the summer of 2020, the NAE established the Racial Justice and Equity Committee to tackle important and challenging issues facing racial justice and equity. It is composed of members of the Academy. Dr. May is a member of this committee, and Dr. Pierre is the chair. The Racial Justice and Equity Committee is tasked to address challenges to racial justice and equity in engineering, including recommend ways to make NAE members and the general engineering community aware of racial injustice and inequity, and recommend initiatives designed to increase the percentage of engineering degrees in higher education achieved by underrepresented minorities. Members of this committee are leaders of industry, academia, the military, and national laboratories, and they are committed to action. The Racial Justice and Equity Committee has distinguished itself already with several initiatives, including the following: a special lecture by Dr. John Slaughter at the 2020 annual NAE meeting titled, "We Must Let Opportunity Meet Talent." A recording of the lecture can be viewed on the NAE website. Dr. Slaughter, who was elected to the NAE in 1982 and served as the director of the National Science Foundation, among other leadership roles, touched on subjects relevant to this workshop. The RJ&E Committee has led several activities that are aimed at actionable recommendations for increasing the diversity of the engineering profession. And most importantly, for today's discussion, the RJ&E Committee provided the impetus for this workshop. Members of the committee have argued that we must generate actionable recommendations to increase inclusion and equity. Coordination among the many national activities supporting this goal is essential for significant advances. While the RJ&E Committee focuses on diversity in terms of racial and ethnic minorities, the NAE is committed to advancing diversity, equity, and inclusion for all segments of our society. We are committed to not leaving talent on the table, and we are in this for the long haul. The NAE is pleased to host this workshop, and we look forward to robust discussions and new collaborations among you. I wish to thank the Alfred P. Sloan Foundation for its support of the workshop and for support of other activities of the National Academies aimed at equity and inclusion. And I thank all of you for participating. And now I would like to turn the program over to Laurel Espinoza.